Good morning, everyone. So it's been so long since I haven't done a live, but that's a little surprise for you today. So I'm starting actually lives again, and I hope that you're going to enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to introduce Stephanie. Hi, Victoria. Lovely to see you. I'm going to interview Stephanie today. I'm just going to check that Stephanie's joining. I hope I have the right time, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to do this series of interviews actually more often. So if you want to do one with me and we know each other already, let me know so I can interview you as well in the future. Good morning, everyone. How are you all? It's been such a long time since I have done a live. So I'm just going to check in with Stephanie, if Stephanie's here or not. Good morning, Rohita. How are you? So I'm ready. Hi, Jess. So I know that Stephanie's internet might not be like extremely powerful. So let's see if Stephanie managed to join. You were just watching our interview last night. Are you kidding? That's so funny. And Jess, I'm back just this morning. Good morning, Ellen. So lovely to see you here this morning. So Jessica and Ellen and everyone, we can do one together as well. Good morning, Shaman. We can do one together as well again, because this is going to be a shorter version actually of what I was doing in the past. And I'm going to make them like 20 minutes long, not longer, because I want it to be something which is really easy. Good morning, Stephanie. Stephanie's here. Wonderful. So I'm going to invite Stephanie in a second. So yeah, I wanted to make it something which is really easy to watch for everyone. So that's why I want to keep it short. And I'm going to invite Stephanie right now so we can get started. So many of you joining. I did not actually expect that. So that's fun. So because we haven't said anyone, we haven't told anyone, we haven't told anyone that. Okay. Here you go, I think. Yeah. Hey.
Oh,
Hi, how are you, Stephanie? Good morning.
good morning to you. Yeah, I'm fine, thank
Thank
you.
Yeah,
How are
good. Can
you?
you hear? I'm very good, thank you. Can you hear me correctly?
Yep, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, really well. Really well. So welcome to this interview. So actually I had done interviews in the past and I had done them quite regularly, but then I decided to stop. And then recently I decided to start again. And I'm so excited that you are the first guest for this interview. This is pretty exciting. I'm so happy to do it with you. And so good morning, everyone. Actually, we have 7 people watching right now, and I didn't expect it because we haven't told anyone we were going live. So that's a little bit of a surprise. So, and as I said, this is going to be a little short, but that's okay. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions, like 2 questions. And I know you told me that unexpected questions are fine. And I actually have one already. So I hope that's okay. And then, yeah, and then we'll get to know a little bit more about you today, which is exciting. So the first question, which is unexpected, but it's an easy one, you have the answer to that, is who are you? And so what's your name? Remind us of your name
Uh,
and what you create.
my name's Stephanie and I'm an artist. It took me a while to say actually be able to say that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm from Berkshire. I've born and lived in Berkshire my whole life. And I've always been creative. I've always been just doing something. It doesn't sewing,
Yeah. What
drawing,
what did you start with?
everything. I've done
Everything. Okay.
it since I can remember. I mean, I used
Okay.
to make my siblings' costumes for school and things like that. So
Okay. Incredible. So,
it's something that needed doing. And
and have you been creating for like, would you say forever, or have you started in the last few years?
literally have been doing it forever. I mean,
Okay.
mostly gifts, or if someone needs something sewing, or you know.
It's funny because, yeah, when I was asking this question to artists, when I used to do the interviews last year, everybody was saying forever. But actually, in the past year, I have started meeting more and more artists who have recently started. So that's why I was actually wondering where you are, in which group you are in. So that's
there have been times where I haven't created as much, but I actually see creativity, everywhere. I mean, you can arrange food on the plate creatively, and
yeah,
I see it as more of a way of living, or a way of being, rather than actually, I stopped doing it here and I started again here. I mean, there have been times when I haven't drawn or painted as much, but I've still been doing the other things.
right.
So,
Yeah, I see. I see. That's quite nice to think about creativity like a way of living rather than just having it like thinking about it specifically in terms of fine arts. It could just be like also being creative in our own life, which is really nice. So, okay, so I have some questions which are now more related to business. And these are my two questions. So, my first question, and I know it, I'm not talking about the sales themselves, but what I'm very interested in, we had a chat actually about that. What I'm very interested in is in the process that leads to the sales. And I know you've been doing some work on that in the past year, in the past months. So I would love to know what has been one of your biggest struggles when it comes to selling art, or rather when it comes to taking the actions that lead to selling art. And so sorry for cutting you off already, but my other question is, do you have any tip based on this struggle that you would like to share with artists?
well, I think that there's many. I mean, I'm not business minded. I never have been. I've always been sort of, just the one being creative. And but I think it's hard to pin down one. I think there's three main ones
Right.
that speak out to me. And the first is confidence. And I was always very shy as a child, and I wouldn't step out and do anything. I mean, occasionally I would, but I very rarely talked to people, even when I was little. So I think sometimes when it goes against what you're used to, it can be incredibly difficult. Also, it's likely that I'm neurodivergent, so that has its own problems as well. The other one is health issues. I mean, I really do struggle at times, pain, struggle walking, that sort of thing. And that can impact on your confidence as well. It can make you feel,
of course,
not very good about yourself. So, and the third one is support. I mean, not all of your nearest and dearest are going to be supportive of what you want, and that can be really difficult because they're the ones you expect to be supportive. But it's important, I think, to find a community of people that do appreciate what you're doing, and like with the Artist Entrepreneur Club and Instagram and connect with other artists, that is really important to
absolutely
to get that support in other ways if you're not getting it from your immediate family.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I love what you said actually. So you talked about confidence, and I know you've done a lot of work and a lot of improvement on that. So that's really inspiring to me. And you come across really confident, as a really confident person right now. So, and I love that about you. That you might think that you're not confident, but I'm sure many artists who are looking right now find you confident, think you are confident. So
I get it all the time.
Yeah,
People say it, but
right.
after I'm an absolute nervous wreck. I really am. I can do these things and I push myself to do them, but it does. I need a bit of quiet time afterwards because it's quite taxing.
I'm
It's
with you. With you on that. I need the quiet time afterwards as well. Absolutely. So, okay. And I love what you said about, I find it really interesting what you said about the support from family, because I think what can be really painful is that all of what we do, and especially when it comes to business, because it's related to earning money, the money that we want to earn often is to support our family, and it's so that we can make them feel proud. And so if they are not supportive, that can be incredibly hurtful and discouraging, because there's a goal sometimes. So yeah.
it can stop you progressing for sure, and I
Mm.
think that has sort of played a part a bit. I mean, if you struggle with confidence anyway, and you have like all those issues, like you say, the health issues, you don't have that support.
Exactly.
And really, I mean, I always look at other artists and think, oh, they're doing this and this, but I have to stop and say it in my own time, because everything has to be right, and
Yeah,
you have to do it your way.
absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think we have to just, I mean, it's easy to say, but the comparison can be really destructive. It can really, in opposition to actually inspiring us, it can actually stop us from taking action. So yeah, I so agree with you that it has to be done in a way that works for you first, because it won't work otherwise at all. So yeah.
There's no cookie cutter way of doing
Mm,
things.
exactly, exactly. So, okay, so based on all of the learning you have got from that, what would be an advice so for example, for the first struggle you talked about confidence, what would be an advice you would give to an artist who doesn't feel confident right now to show up in their business?
Well, I can honestly say it doesn't get any easier.
I
Um,
agree with you. So agree with you.
but I think sometimes if you just do one little thing, I mean, if you scrolled through my um, Instagram feed, you'd think, oh, like you say, that I would be confident. But if if actually everybody understood how much effort is just to post one picture, even if it's just a photo of me or a photo of my work, it takes a tremendous amount of energy.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I can be dreaming about it for days. It just really does impact me. But once you've done that little thing, you can do another little thing and another little thing, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just build it gently and carefully to where I want to be. I mean, it's quite. I mean, you say be, how you are and stay true to yourself, but also, I mean, if I did that, I wouldn't be talking to you now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I like to try and set myself little goals to push myself where I wouldn't go or wouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
to.
It's very interesting, because I think somehow that's being true to yourself, giving yourself little challenges.
Well,
That's a little part of yourself, maybe.
I know what I'm like, and I know that I wouldn't do it. And
Mm.
it's almost like, well, you dare to dream what the other side would be like.
Mm. Ah, beautiful.
So
Find it beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, I would, if it hadn't been for my children, I wouldn't have been nearly as far ahead as I am now, because you have to talk to people. You have to engage with school teachers and other
Yeah.
parents. You've got to do that, and that really helped me to start.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what it is. If you start, then you can just do another little bit and another little bit when you feel.
Perfect. Yeah. I really love that. I really love that advice of just doing a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And that's still a lot of progress, actually. And I think it's really interesting because it means that when we look at someone's post, it always feels like, oh, that's just a post. But actually, the amount of work and energy that comes behind that post, I think we should consider it more when we look at someone's post, that it takes so much energy, it takes so much work, it takes so much of being brave and showing up as well. And I think we should maybe consider this a little bit more. So thank you for highlighting this. And so thank you so much for sharing that tip. I think that will be very helpful to artists listening. And so another question that I have is, so we've talked about struggles, but now I want to talk about something positive. I mean, well, struggles can be seen in a positive way as well, but something which will give us a smile on our face. So I would love to talk about what has been your favorite aspect of posting online, showing up, and selling.
I think it's mainly the positive you get from it. I mean, so many people are willing to engage and leave a nice comment, or I think even like if you post a story and someone views it, that's a time out of their day that they've taken. I mean, it's only a few seconds or whatever. Mm-hmm. To me, it's important because they are interested in what you're showing.
Absolutely. And I love what you say, because I think I hear a lot like likes don't pay the bills, but I think actually likes are underrated, and that someone who spends a few seconds liking your post and having looked at it, that means a lot, because every one of us, we have so much going on during our day. So someone spending that time to give that energy and give that like, I think actually that's showing a lot of interest and a lot of support in what you do. So I really love what you're saying, that the positivity from other people and their reactions, and sometimes even comments. So that's even more supportive. So okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for answering my questions. So, all right. So where is the best place, actually, before we end this conversation, where is the best place to follow you if everyone here wants to follow you? And I think there was a question from someone in the chat. Actually, I'm going to try and find it. So, okay. So the question I can read here is, I would love to hear what directs your heart or your head? The heart or your head?
Well, I would definitely say the heart. I mean, I think I live like that anyway. I mean, I'm very much an idealist, but I see that as a positive because, all of us are very aware of what's real. This how it ties in with my surrealism. I'm not sure there's true surrealism, because there is always an element of truth in there somewhere. There's always something that drives that, and my heart definitely. I do work a lot intuitively, so even if I've planned something on paper, which I don't always do, but even if I plan it, I will let the painting lead me. So that is more, it just goes the way it wants to go. And I try not to stop it, because if I do, then that would be my head ruling over it. And I'm not sure that I really know what way it should end up. So I just let it lead itself.
I love that you have an answer, a clear answer to this very hard question. I would have found it really hard to answer, but obviously for you who has like a lot of experience creating, that's a little bit easier, and you've been thinking probably about that while creating. So I'm very impressed by your answer, and I really love it. I find it inspiring. And just so you know, in case you want to check who has asked the question, it's Big John Art. If you want, just so you know who has asked the question. So, Big John Art then says, I ask because I am an artist who sells a little art, but also help doing art therapy in a psychiatric hospital. And it is beautiful helping people find their expression. Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
I have actually volunteered before, sort of led an art group, not actually sort of taught something specific. I've just gone in and given ideas, and basically the way I work, but started off something maybe in clay or something, and seen how it takes people. And I think it can be incredibly important to, I mean, even if it's just doodling on a piece of paper, for even people that profess they're not artistic at all.
That would be me.
I mean, it used to really irritate me that people would say, oh, I can't draw. And actually, if you think about it, nobody can read or write or anything like that before they're taught. And I think people see art in a different way. They see it as something that they just can or can't do. But you can learn, and it's just knowing how to. I mean, there's so many like videos and stuff on
absolutely
YouTube, and it's not always about the result as well. I know you think sometimes that when you see this finished piece of artwork that that someone has created, and you think, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. But actually, there are steps and there are techniques.
Yeah.
And those.
Interesting. So I mean, I'm while you're talking about steps and goals and results, you know what it makes me think of? Like sales. It's like, and I that's why I think like it's always funny, because I think that artists are amazing business owners, because you know a lot about failing and taking risks and steps and time and patience, all of this. And so I think that's a great way to compare like the creative part and the sales part. But of course, it's not the same to create art and to sell art. So there is always maybe a lot of joy when it comes to creating art, while it's maybe less instinctive. Can you say that word? Yeah, thank you. Well, to actually sell the art.
A lot of my creative work has been, they've been gifts for people. I've someone that will just create and give it as presents to portraits and blankets and all sorts of things I've made over the years.
Right.
And I do see that as my artwork as an extension of that. But unfortunately, the art materials are really expensive, and to look at it as a business, you're going to have to sell it, and that fills me with a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Actually, in the same way, that can help me help other people, because I became unwell about 13 years ago, and I haven't been able to work. And one of the biggest things for me was the fact that I couldn't donate to a charity, or I didn't have the funds to do that. So that is one of my goals, is to firstly pay for me to live, and
Yeah.
pay for me to buy the materials to create more
Yeah.
art.
Hmm.
Also, is to give back and
Beautiful.
help
Yeah.
people with that.
Perfect. Yes. So thank you so much, Stephanie, today for this was really inspiring. So I really want to thank you for your time and
Thank you.
for sharing your answers. So, and I'm going to post this on my feed. I didn't actually ask you, so you let me know if that's not okay. But I can post this on my feed. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't actually ask before. So, and yes, and so thank you so much. So if anyone wants to learn more about you, please go and give a follow to Stephanie on so that's Stephanie Brant on Instagram, and you will get to learn more about Stephanie and get inspired even more. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Stephanie, again for your time and for
Thank
your
you.
answers.
Nice to speak to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And you. Bye.
Bye.